What's up, everybody? Welcome to Communication with Louie, and today we're going to talk about the types of communication according to context. You see, the context where I am situated right now, this is your beloved CDM. We've got only 5 and we're just gonna do it quickly. Number 1 is intrapersonal communication. So this type of communication refers to all about the conversations you have with yourself. So it includes the inner voice and self-reflection. If you're gonna try to unravel the word intrapersonal, it comes from the word intra, which means within. And we've got here also personal, which means about your own thoughts, your own feelings. Have you ever caught yourself thinking about a problem or giving yourself a pep talk? Well, that technically is intrapersonal communication. It's just within us. So here are some examples. Number 1, when you're gearing up for a midterm exam or any sort of exam, you tell yourself some positive thoughts like, hey, I can do this. I've studied hard and I'm not gonna fail. That's intrapersonal communication. Also, when you decide for some things in life, like either you're gonna binge watch your favorite show or perhaps you're gonna study, yes, and then you talk to yourself, okay, that's intrapersonal communication. But here's the thing, studies show that self-talk isn't that bad. In fact, positive self-talk can boost your performance and reduce your anxiety. And that's good news, you're doing it well. In fact, there's a certain study that found that athletes who use positive self-talk tend to perform better. So my tip is that, number 1, you better keep your self-talk, but just make sure that it's gonna be positive and supportive. Okay? And next is that you use that as a tool to boost your motivation and your focus. All right. We're going to proceed now to number 2, and that is the interpersonal communication. The exact opposite of the first that I tackled a while ago. So this one is about the back and forth communication between people. And this includes chatting with your friends or your family. You like origins, right? So the origin of that is, inter. And inter means between. And it's about the interactions between people. Okay? Think about the deep conversations or even casual chats you have with your friends. Well, that's interpersonal communication. When you catch up with your friends over coffee about your weekend plans, and when you also talk with your colleagues about a certain issue, then that's interpersonal communication. And fun fact, good interpersonal communication is important. It helps improve your relationships and even reduce stress. There's a certain study about the importance of interpersonal communication, more particularly the supportive and positive ones, because according to that, it lowers the stress levels. Some tips: please listen actively and be present in the conversation whenever you are doing that interpersonal communication. And plus, communicate clearly. Do not just think that others know exactly what you intend, and that will honestly avoid misunderstandings. The third example of communication, and that is the intercultural communication. But what is that? This is when you interact with people from different cultural backgrounds. It's all about, understanding and bridging those cultural gaps. If you're gonna dig deep within the term intercultural, you're gonna see 2 words, inter and cultural. Inter means between, and cultural means the different interactions between different cultures. So let me give you an example. Imagine you're working with colleagues from Japan, and you might need to understand their cultural norms to collaborate effectively. Therefore, you need to try to understand the different nuances in their culture, and so that you might not misunderstand them or might cause problems along the way.
Okay.
Let me give you some examples. At a multicultural festival, you try traditional dishes from different countries and learn about their origins. That's being good in terms of interpersonal communication. You don't just becoming a prejudiced person trying to tell a lot of negative things about their cuisines or whatever cultural artifacts they have. And also it applies to working with a team. Well, say for example, you work with Indians and then you see them having their heads going from right to left. Okay, as you undertake a presentation, you might misconstrue that they are saying or implying that they don't agree with you. That's wrong, because you haven't improved your intercultural knowledge. In fact, that just means that they are agreeing with you. Different from the Western colleagues who would just put their heads, they move their heads rather up and down to signify agreement. And here's the thing. So people, I hope that you try to improve your intercultural communication and become more effective on that, because otherwise you're selfish. It's not gonna help. With this type of communication, you can improve your teamwork and reduce conflicts. In fact, a certain study shows that understanding cultural differences helps teams work better together. All right, let me give you some tips. Number one is, do not be prejudiced. Be open-minded and respectful of the different cultural practices. Okay? And also, if you're unsure, you may ask questions. And that's a way, actually, to learn about other cultures and improve your interactions. Number 4, we have here the extended or mass communication. What is this? It's when you're communicating with a large audience and its medium is through technologies like the social media or even TV. From the term itself, extended, you try to extend your communication through some certain platforms. And of course, mass. If you're going to think about mass, it means a large group. So this type of communication is meant for reaching many people all at once. You can relate to it because you post different videos or messages through TikTok. And also you get to learn coming from what I'm doing right now, because this is an example of extended communication. I utilize YouTube for documenting my lesson, and so that it can be relayed to wider audiences, not only for my students, but also to other people who may be interested as well. Like you share a funny meme or do some serious update, and then they get a lot of likes and comments on Facebook. That's extended communication. And then there's this thing, the TED Talk, right? It's undertaken in a different place, but it can be streamed to thousands of viewers around the world. But also it can cut across different places and countries. Let's be real. Extended or mass communication, according to science, plays a huge role in shaping public opinion. That's why politicians use that really well. They influence how people think and feel, in fact, about a range of issues. Here are my tips. Number 1, know your audience and tailor your message to engage them. Be familiar with the technologies, and so that you could extend yourself to others. Okay. And lastly, keep your message, clear and compelling still, even it's undertaken online or on using technologies, so that you can put forward a strong impact. We've got number 5. That is actually the last. Organizational communication. This is how information is shared within an organization, let it be a company or a school. Organizational comes from the word organization, which refers to the structured groups or entities. And, a lot of people could relate to it, more particularly the employees or those who work in an organization. For example, you're working already. Think about the emails you may get coming from your boss or updates during a team meeting. These are examples of organizational communication. Let me delve deeper there. Okay, like when discussing project and deadlines, okay, and people tell about responsibilities, and then that they should have consensus, and then they should work in a team. That's organizational communication. And even a simple, monthly update, more particularly a newsletter, like a company newsletter, which shares about the events and happenings there. That is organizational communication still. There's a certain research I learned last time, and it talks about good organizational communication. If it is good and effective, then it can lead to better job satisfaction and productivity. More people will get to stay at that organization. There's a study as well that clear communication within organizations boosts employee engagement. Therefore, we've got some tips. Number 1 is, in the organizational setup, employees and employers, bosses, supervisors, whoever is that, should have a clear and concise way of communicating. They must ensure that all communications also align with organization's goals and values. All right, that's it. Using these types of communication can effectively help you connect with others, and that you can navigate different settings more smoothly. So goodbye for now, and see you the next time around. Make your communication powerful. Take care.